where they have the best of pizza every day made by me, Luigi.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to Pro Wrestling 60, where we talk about everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling in the next 60 minutes. I'm XLJ the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. He just got off a plane from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Mr. B-Roll.
That is staying straight, and we are coming at you with a live in-color edition of PW60.
We're live now.
So, the pressure to perform is even more upon us. So, like we say here at PW60, the clock starts now.
That's right. Gee, I wonder what the biggest story of the week is going to be.
If you smell...
Yes, so our top story of the week, the entire professional wrestling world was shook and in awe as the jabroni-beaten, pie-eaten, eyebrow-blazing, I can't talk, that guy. Yes, you know him, you love him. The Rock returned this past Friday night. On Friday night, SmackDown making a surprise appearance on SmackDown. It was kind of like alluded to in the day that he could possibly be there, but were you surprised to see The Rock on Friday Night SmackDown?
Well, let me put it to you this way. I was not watching Friday Night SmackDown live.
I wasn't either, damn it. We were recording I was recording another podcast, and I know you had some stuff to do with the fam, so yeah, it was just like, oh man.
I then ended up tuning in on my phone, and I was like, "Oh man, he really is there."
Yeah, I mean, what a way to start the show. Of course, starting off with your boy Pat McAfee coming out and being confronted by one A-Town Down Austin Theory, and then Rock doing what The Rock does, just laying the smackdown on Austin Theory's Rudy Poo candy ass. What a moment, though, man. That crowd, that pop, holy shit, man. You talk about like a Road Warrior pop. That was one of those pops. And of all places to do it in Denver, too, of all things. It just
they
completely
didn't
unexpected.
believe it. They didn't believe it. They were like,
yeah, because it's just I have my thoughts on it, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. But as I mentioned, one A-Town Down was in the ring with the Great One, and we all know our Tribal Queen loves her some A-Town Down. So let's go to the Tribal Queen for Bree for her tidbit of the week.
Well, hi guys, this is your Tribal Queen Bree with the Tribal Queen tidbit of the week. Again, I'm going to be talking about Austin Theory because he had a big Friday. I mean, SmackDown was a big episode all in all. Austin Theory got completely obliterated in the ring by none other than the People's Champ, The Rock. And as sad as I am to see him completely get obliterated by words, the fact that he has gone in the ring toe-to-toe with The Rock and Stone Cold, Austin Theory is going to be a world champion in the next 5 years. Less than. I completely guarantee it. I talk about him all the time. He's got it all. He's got the genuine heat and all of that other stuff. But this is your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week.
Ain't no doubt about it, man.
You know, she makes me think of a question, and I won't dwell on it, but to the Cole TV universe out there, PW60 universe, who do you think will be a world champion first? Grayson Waller or Austin Theory?
Oh, that's a good question, but hands down Austin Theory. Because look at she said it. look at all of the rub he's gotten so far in the WWE. It's insane. Like the guys that he's been in there with and stuff. I mean, he's been in there, like, got the rub off Steve Austin, The Rock. Now he's wrestled John Cena and defeated John Cena at WrestleMania earlier this year. I mean, say what you will, but I gotta say, A-Town is down for sure. But as I said before, kind of alluded to that this was going to be happening because The Rock made appearance on the Pat McAfee show, which just so happened to be in Colorado, where College Game Day was on Saturday. But he said some interesting things on Pat McAfee's podcast. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little indifferent about it. So what The Rock pretty much said is more or less that it was locked in that The Rock and Roman Reigns, as we had thought, would be going one-on-one with each other at WrestleMania 39. But as The Rock put it, essentially plans fell through and they couldn't lock it into place. Now, he kind of elaborated a little bit more on the subject and more or less was just like, okay, it's like I could have worked it out like with my filming schedule and stuff, and the physicality wouldn't have been a problem, yada yada. Just it had to be the right fit. Do you think The Rock called an audible on this because he wanted to go over on Roman? Because that kind of seems to be, to me, a little bit what's implied, but
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
I don't know. I want to say this about Friday night. Now, this is probably going to be a hot take, which we've got a hot take coming on this too, trust me. But here's my hot take on it. If the writer's strike wasn't going on right now, you would not be seeing The Rock in the WWE. I said what I said. I love The Rock. Don't get me wrong. But the man is so damn busy. And if this writer's strike continues, I mean, all signs are pointing. People are talking like we are going to get The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I love The Rock. I don't want that to be my WrestleMania 40 main event. You know damn well what I want my WrestleMania 40 to be the main event. I want to finish the damn story. Yeah. I saw something out there suggesting that part of the plan would be to see like Cody. Do you think he's going to win the Rumble this year? He doesn't. Something happens. He fights whoever like cost him his Royal Rumble victory at Mania, and they drag it on for another year. I don't want to see that. I mean, they've dragged it on as far as they can, honestly, in my opinion. I mean that though, like the Bloodline story, it's been great, but I don't know. It's like they've kind of had to put it on a break here for a little bit, with Roman being gone and whatnot, and what you're doing with Jimmy and Jay, but. I don't know. I would love to see The Rock, but I don't want to see that matchup at WrestleMania 40. Give it to me at the Royal Rumble or something. Of course, they won't do that, but I don't know. What do you think on that? Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, I mean, I bought my ticket to see Cody finish the story.
Damn straight. Same here. Same here.
That way.
That is why I felt why I really wanted to go to Mania this year, and it's like I don't know. I don't know. If it happens, it's cool, but I don't know. Right now, I can't really wrap my brain around it. Especially, I can't wrap another year's build for Cody. I believe in that King's Road long-term storytelling, but 2 years, you're asking an awful lot. But I mean, who knows? Maybe The Rock, maybe The Rock could kind of plan this all along, like. My opinions on it, but we really would love to get to the bottom of this. And there's only one person I know who can help and get to the bottom of this. Let's go to Best Scout as he tries to get an interview with The Rock.
This past Friday, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson returned to the wrestling world when he appeared on WWE SmackDown. And this sexual dynamo, the velvet-voiced Adonis himself, the notorious BGM, the Best Scout Machine, is going to try to get an interview with The Rock. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Don't see The Rock anywhere. Wait a damn second. Oh, Plymouth Rock. Guys, we fucked up. Moving on. crap, we've detoured over to the Tracy Lawrence album, The Rock, country music sensation Tracy Lawrence, who some of you may not know, unlike one of the greatest country artists of all time, Shania Twain! Honestly, I never listened to this album ever. I'm sorry, guys. Moving forward. Yes, it appears we have not found The Rock, the wrestling actor. We have found the 1996 movie starring Sean Connery. Suck it, Trebek! Where the fuck is Dwayne Johnson? There appears to be a town called The Rock, Georgia? That's just lazy. Oh, New Day, I was sent in your direction. Do you know where The Rock is? No. Why was I sent to... New Day Rocks. It makes sense now. Okay, toodles, guy. Get well, Biggie. I love you. Alright, where are we now? Wait. It's XLJ and B-roll from Cole TV? You sexy beast! Oh my god. I get it now. I wasn't looking for The Rock. I was looking for men who rock. Guys, I found my treasure. It would have been nice to see The Rock, though, but I love you guys. You know, it's not the journey, it's the friends you made through the journey. I just want to put like a popsicle stick into B-roll's mouth. Just saying. Good day, gentlemen. Where's my Sting doll?
No, you're too cute. You're too... Oh, sorry. Anyways, nothing to see there. So Friday Night SmackDown. Let's talk about the rest of what happened on.
Hey, buddy, you are muted.
Back. Of course, we got to see LA Knight in action, which is great to see because it seems like Friday nights is LA Knight's night. Yeah. Also, of course, Pat McAfee, like we said, opened the show. The Street Profits went up against the LWO. Asuka against Bayley. And how about the Grayson Waller effect with John Cena, man? Who would have thunk it? John Cena and The Rock and Pat McAfee all on Friday Night SmackDown this week. Pretty crazy, man. It was a loaded show. They brought the stars, and you wonder why this happened. Well, one could possibly suggest because of this. Yes, it is official. We are officially in the TKO era as the UFC and WWE merger is complete. And one unfortunate aspect of this, though, was what happened this past Friday. As hundreds of WWE employees were unfortunately let go, which you hate to see anybody lose their job. But I mean, you get a big corporate merger like this, it's going to happen. Hopefully, they were presented with great severance packages and maybe can continue on their journey in the world of pro wrestling or whatever. But we here at PW60 wish everybody that was let go from the WWE the best in their future endeavors. So,
endeavor.
See what I did there. But well, I said we had a hot take. Why don't we go to Husky with the hot take, and we're going to follow that up with a little Dad Hats advice of the week.
What's going on, PW60? I'm back. Now, Rock comes back on SmackDown. And he says on the College Game Day show with Pat McAfee that it was in fact supposed to be Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania 39, and now people are speculating that it might happen at WrestleMania 40. Not going to do a fantasy booking, I'm going to hit you with an actual hot take. The Bloodline storyline has gone on about a year longer than it absolutely should have been. It's just getting boring at this point. Give me some new shit. Just saying.
It's that time of the week again. Dad Hats Life Lessons of the Week. Brought to you by World Championship Wreckage. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also by the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Wednesday, twitch.tv/Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. And now, here's Dad Hat.
All right, kids. Just remember, quit your bitching. What's supposed to happen will always happen.
And everybody's coming with the Rock, man. But I can understand it was a huge moment this week. And that's an interesting question by AJ Hoover there. Does the Warrior Award get renamed since Dana Warrior was released? I think so, or I wouldn't be shocked if they did away with it or did something else with it. But
I
maybe
think they'll do something else entirely.
Yeah, they'll do the Colin Award or something for Colin the kid. So who knows? But hey, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty solid show. Of course, we got to see Jey Uso and KO and Sammy kick it off as they kind of faced off with the Judgment Day. Because remember, the Judgment Day is who runs the place, baby. And you got to see Jey and KO team up to take on the Judgment Day. An incredible matchup with The Miz going against Tozawa, right? I mean, maybe match of the year, perhaps? Okay, nothing there. All right. Well, some jokes work, some don't. Obviously, that one does. So, how about the crowning of achievement of Gunther? And then the main event, Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez. And so much happened this week that son of a bitch, I forgot this happened. Nia Jax is back. Hooray.
And the head smack was not even like necessarily because she was back, but like they have just been dragging that Rhea and Raquel story, and then you throw this like fork on the road into it. Like, why?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Stiff as hell. It's like some of the shit she did, like that bonsai drop. Like, did you notice, like, when she did it, like, I mean, not trying to play kayfabe here, brother, but, like, she let her hands off the ropes, thus putting, like, all of her weight down on Rhea. It's like if you looked at Yoko when he did that shit, like, I don't know. I'm indifferent on this. I try to be, biased and stuff, but B-roll, you know my thoughts on it. I'm not a fan, and I'll just leave it at that. But, nonetheless, Nia Jax is back in the WWE.
I just want it to make sense. That's all I care about. Just make sense.
Yeah. Well, like I say, you know my thoughts, and I'm done talking about it. NXT took place this past Tuesday. A solid show. How about Wesley against Dragunov, man?
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
That was an early contender for match of the week. That was an early contender.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, it's not. It's not, but
came close. Came very close. But we got to talk about this, the big moment of the night. Becky Lynch is your new NXT Women's Champion. I don't know how I feel about this. I had about a week to process, and I still don't know. I mean, it's great for her to get that accolade and stuff, but in the greater scheme of things, what does this do for Tiffany Stratton?
Well,
unless she gets the chase and she gets the belt back, but I don't know. I didn't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being like too nitpicky here, but I just feel like Tiffany Stratton should have had a longer run, and I don't think putting the belt on Becky really helps her or that women's division. It's just like, okay, it's an accolade we can give to Becky.
Well, but I'm going to disagree just a little bit, though, because now think of all the possibilities. Becky could have a match with Roxanne Perez. She could have a match with Lyra Valkyrie. All of these possibilities.
Will she, though? Will they? You really think they're going to put the man on NXT and like have her there on a weekly basis?
She's got to defend it sometime.
I don't know. I guess this is a wait and see for me, but congratulations nonetheless. I mean, and now you can say all the 4 horsewomen have held all of the major women's championships in the WWE.
Let me ask you this. Dominic Mysterio has been North American champion. Has he been on NXT?
Well, that's a good point. I'll
Yes,
give
he
you
has.
that. Yeah, I'll give you
The New-
that.
The New Day were tag team champions, and they were on NXT as well.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, I feel a little bit indifferent about this. Maybe I'm salty because my girl Tiffany Stratton lost, but nonetheless, congratulations to Becky Lynch. She is your new NXT Women's Champion. Yes, you have one more thought.
Yes, one more question. One more question, because I'm just full of questions tonight, and then we'll move on. Is Becky Lynch the greatest female wrestler of all time?
No. Maybe the greatest draw or one of the greater draws, but no, I don't think so. Yeah, in my opinion, no. She's up there, easily, like on a Mount Rushmore, and I mean that's a debate you can go back and forth. Who's the greatest of the four horsewomen? Because I mean that's kind of what you're talking about, like pretty much a four woman race right there. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I would definitely say, I agree, Spicy. Definitely top 5 in the last 30 years. But hey, this is like a topic we could easily do on a Learning the Ropes episode. But this isn't Learning the Ropes. This is PW60.
That's true.
And we got plenty more to talk about. Such as NXT No Mercy will be coming up here before you know it. We got a little update on the card. We do now know that Dragunov will challenge Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. We have the Heritage Cup match, which we still have to determine who will be in that final. Dom defending that North American Championship against Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker one-on-one. Already looking to be a solid show. And I'm just going to say this. I think Dragunov wins that championship. I think it's happening.
Think they pull the trigger?
I think so, man. I think he's about due. Do it. Do it, Papa H. Listen to us. Book it. I need it in my life. And we got to talk about this. The news hit earlier this week. Controversy on the actual statistics of numbers of fans in attendance at All in London. They are now reporting, according to the turnstiles, which in case you don't know, that's the little things where you come in and it like turns over, you know.
Yeah, I had to Google it. And I was like, oh, that's what that thing's called.
Yes. So it's now reported that there was actually only 75,000 people in attendance. Okay, look at me. Did you buy the pay-per-view? Did you like the show? Okay, interesting. Then shut the fuck up. Who cares? 75,000, 85,000, 100,000, 200,000. There was a fuck ton of people there, and it's pretty goddamn impressive sight to see. I'm just saying. Like, only professional wrestling fans will bitch and gripe about fucking attendance and viewership and ratings, and nobody else gives a shit about that. It's just funny how we've been conditioned to that. Man, I feel like I got a lot of hot takes tonight, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, okay, it is what it is, but this was still a monumental moment in the world of professional wrestling. I don't care if it's 75, 81, 85, 90, whoever. There was a fuck ton of people there that got to watch an amazing show.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
I'll say this: when they said the thing, they said the paid attendance. They didn't say who was they. Like, people could have bought tickets and not showed up. Who knows why? But
that's true too. Scalpers.
The record they claimed to broke was paid attendance.
So I mean, it is what it is. It still is a monumental feat. It shouldn't be taken away from it. I'm just saying. So. Well, this was a surprising moment as Jade Cargill, we were kind of confused. She returned to Collision last week.
The hug heard round the world.
Yes, the hug heard round the world as Jade went one-on-one with Chris Statlander, and Stat pinned her clean. Well, we think we know the reason for this now, folks, as it appears that one Jade Cargill, yes, that bitch, is WWE bound. Now, we don't have an official confirmation of this yet, but according to the dirt sheets and a lot of people reporting, it seems like Jade is going to the WWE. Are you surprised with this, B-roll?
You know, a little, but I'm going to say this. I will never be mad at someone for betting on themselves and trying to make as much money as they humanly possible can, because what they do is insane and it's dangerous. So go get your money while you can.
Oh yeah, 1,000% agree. The one thing where it throws me back about this a little bit is like I'm pretty sure like you know part of the reason why she was enjoying her time in AEW, or at least I thought she was the schedule, being able to like actually be with her child and take care and raise her daughter. I feel like you get to the WWE, your schedule is going to change drastically. So, unless
Money,
they offered
mo-
her a ton of money, but I would
mo-
think Papa Khan could match that too. So I don't know.
money talks. Money talks.
Or maybe she just has that desire to work in the WWE. Maybe that's what it boils down to. Who knows? But either way, I think she's going to be a great success. Now, let me ask you this. Does she get called up to the main roster instantly, or do they put her on NXT?
To me, she doesn't fit NXT.
I agree. I think she has such a huge presence. She should be on the main roster. I will say this too. I don't think she's going to get by much with as much of the vernacular, the verbiage, of some of the stuff she says and cuts in promos. Kind of like how what MJF does in his promos. If he does go to the WWE someday, I don't think he'll be able to quite pull that off, in my opinion, because I think they'll. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if she does in fact go to the WWE. I mean, there's also a possibility too. She's done with wrestling for a little while, because I know she's I believe she opened up a restaurant or something recently too, or had some other endeavors that she was pursuing. So maybe she's going to focus on that more. But it's going to be interesting to see, nonetheless, what happens with one Jade Cargill.
I'm sorry. You know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Do you think the final straw for her, though, was when they tried to book her with Bow Wow? I'm sorry.
Wasn't that a Jade? Was that more of a Jade thing, though? Or I don't know. I completely forgot about that until you said something. So I put that in the back of my mind.
Head. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the rest of Rampage this week. Of course, obviously the highlight was Stat against Jade. The Acclaimed were in action. How about the Kingdom being in action, and an opener of the 8-man tag there with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, the Butcher and the Blade against the Hardys, and the Lucha Brothers. I gotta be honest, B-roll. As you know, I was there in Cincinnati for this. And my old ass was tired and had a long trip home. So, I was wanting to stick around for it, but I had to get on the road. So, unfortunately, I did not get to see Rampage. But I did get to see Dynamite. Dynamite was a loaded show. And by the way, later this week on Cold TV, you'll be able to see an exclusive vlog from my outing there at Dynamite in Cincinnati, which was pretty awesome. Had some floor seats. Once again, It was killer. It was awesome.
You can get an XLJ bird's eye view.
That's right. That is right. But Dynamite, I thought, was a great show. That opener was hot with Big Bill against Moxley, man. Oh, and of course, Mox in his hometown in Cincinnati, going up against Big Bill. But man, that was a great opener. How about Don Callis revealing Takeshita's next victim, or should I say the Alpha now? His next victim is going to be Kota Ibushi. All signs pointing towards Wrestle Dream that match will take place.
How about that? I mean, that's kind of like a low note. It's like we were just basically guaranteed more Kota Ibushi too, and that's kind of like a low.
Yeah,
Dude, it was a
newsworthy week. Yeah,
yeah.
There's a ton of stuff that happened this week. And what about also too Don Callis going on and calling Kenny Omega a cuck? I was like, oh my god. Toni Storm won the 4-way matchup to become the number 1 contender for your women's championship, and she'll go on to Grand Slam.
Her character is so great right now.
Oh, it's killing it right now. It's the best version of Toni Storm I've ever seen. Now, since I'm complaining about shit tonight, I will complain about this. The absolute horse shit, the amount of time that they gave that match, that 4-way match on Dynamite. That ridiculous. It was short in the arena, but my understanding is I think they literally had 3 minutes of TV time or something like that in ring, just a fucking joke. But yeah, I'm sorry, but once again, women's wrestling needs to be booked better. I will stand on my high horse on that one. I'm just saying. And that's across the board in all federations. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara with their little promo build up before their matchup at Grand Slam. And a hell of a matchup between Hangman Page and Brian Cage. Man, they always deliver. Probably was the match of the night, in my opinion, on this show. And of course, Samoa Joe defeating Roderick Strong to win the Grand Slam Eliminator Tournament. And now it will be Joe against one MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, for the AEW Championship. But Dynamite was an awesome show. Collision was awesome too, man. But I want to say this. You know who had the best week by far? And guess what? They are our Wrestler of the Week. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yep. We talked about this. Yep. Look at Joe choking out. Oh, forgot to mention that. And choking out Adam Cole at the end too, man. So
just looks so
remember
vicious.
Joe promising that he was going to take everything away from MJF. So
vicious.
So vicious. But the Wrestler of the Week, there could be only one. Chris Statlander. I want you to think about this statistic, folks. Chris Statlander defeated the most dominant TBS champion of all time, Jade Cargill, clean. And what does she do as an encore? She beats arguably the most dominant and greatest AEW Women's Champion of all time, Britt Baker, on Collision in the main event. In Britt's hometown, pretty much. Chris Statlander right now is head and shoulders above the entire female division in AEW. And I'm here for it, man. I love it. I love Stat. And she is our Wrestler of the Week. No disputing who Wrestler of the Week was this week, was there, buddy?
Well, and she has Zoolander gear, so that automatically makes it cool.
A win is a win. A win is a win. But let's talk about Collision here real quick, because that was a pretty loaded show, too. How about Ricky Starks and Big Bill picking up the win against the Blackpool Combat Club?
It's a good opener.
Yep. FTR going up against the Iron Savages. Great to see the Iron Savages on TV, and that was a fun little match. Really respect, too, that the Workhorsemen come out at the end of that matchup, and they're now going to challenge FTR. So I think that's kind of cool. FTR working with some different teams you wouldn't see them working on a normal basis. How about Anthony Bowens against John Silver? And John Silver's like, I Googled looking up scissoring is, and you guys are doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong.
Chef's kiss. That was amazing on so many levels. My God, the Eddie Kingston promo backstage. Holy shit. If that doesn't get you hyped for this matchup, I don't know what will, folks. How about Aussie Open now challenging FTR for the tag team titles? And I think it's going to be cool because it's happening at Wrestle Dream a year to the date from their last matchup, dude. That match is going to probably steal the show, honestly. As great as the show's already looking, but, dude, Aussie Open against FTR 2, hell to the yeah. Scorpio Sky went up against Andrade in a pretty impressive matchup. And then how about this? The Righteous going over on the Hardy Boys. That's a huge upset. But good for the Righteous. Great to see them on TV and them get a huge win against the Hardys. Loved it. Like we said, Statlander going over Britt Baker. Overall, like AEW TV was solid this week, man. But we were talking about Wrestle Dream. We now know 3 matches officially. Of course, Bryan Danielson going up against Zack Sabre Jr. in that Dream matchup. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page will go one-on-one in Swerve's hometown. And yes, FTR against Aussie Open. And you know there's going to be more matches announced, but already, seriously, B-Roll, just take my money now. This card is freaking loaded.
Well, I mean, you probably the Alpha versus Kota. But
Alpha against Kota probably will happen, too. Darby will be involved in something since it's in Seattle. I imagine the TNT title rematch or something. Who knows? But, man, it's a loaded show. But speaking of loaded shows, we got a lot to look forward to this upcoming Wednesday and Friday as Dynamite Grand Slam and Rampage Grand Slam take place at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. We do know Samoa Joe will challenge MJF for the AEW Championship. Saraya will defend her women's title against Toni Storm. And that should be interesting. Saraya returning 1 year later to where she debuted, as well as her going up against stablemate Toni Storm. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara one-on-one. Oh, you got a hot take on that one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
You know where I'm going.
Oh, here we go again. Yeah, go ahead and say it.
Is Saraya the one to get debuted on this time?
Wouldn't be surprised. I know who you're talking about. Mercedes Moné. Does she show up at? I don't know. Probably there will be a big surprise on this show. I imagine
There will be.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad if it's Thunder Rosa.
Oh, I'd be marking the hell out if it's Thunder Rosa. Either way, it's a win for us wrestling fans. John Moxley defended his international title against Rey Fenix will take place. And in my opinion, Papa Khan, listen to me. You open with MJF and Joe. You close with this one. Title for title. ROH title against the New Japan Strong title. Claudio Castagnoli against Eddie Kingston. And I'm calling my shot now, B-roll. Main event of Grand Slam, and fucking Eddie Kingston finally gets his moment and wins that Ring of Honor title. I'm calling it now. It's going to happen, damn it. We're going to speak it into existence, and it's going to be an emotional moment for Eddie Kingston. And if anybody deserves it, it's him, man. So I'm hoping it happens, but we'll have to see. But also a loaded Rampage card, too. So we got Sting and Darby teaming up to take on Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Your Ring of Honor 6-man titles are on the line as the Mogul Embassy defends against the Elite, and the Acclaimed will defend their Trios Championship against the Dark Order. And I'm sure some more matches are going to be announced here soon for this event. But yeah, Grand Slam is looking pretty damn good, and we got a lot to look forward to this week, don't we?
Yes, a lot of good wrestling coming our way.
Oh, yeah. Ah, fuck. Here we go again. Can we not go a fucking show without talking about this guy?
Who makes the format for this show?
Oh, yeah. Yes, CM Punk officially made his first comments since being let go from AEW at a MMA show where he was doing color commentary and kind of was alluding that like he would be free here in a couple months. And of course, you know how the crazy IWC is. Everybody is like, oh, he's going to this be at Survivor Series in Chicago. I think it's just Punk trolling, honestly. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if he ends up in WWE, but I don't see it coming. If I was him, man, just take some time away from stuff and do what you enjoy outside the world of pro wrestling. That'd be my suggestion. But
Go film Hills Season 3.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Ricky Raby's in the house, baby. All right, Mr. B-Roll. Let's go to our good friend, Extreme League Wrestling, for the 5 count.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 5 Count, the news show where I go over the top 5 news stories from the world of professional wrestling this week in under 5 minutes, because the news stories start coming and they don't stop coming. Number 1, Becky Lynch wins the NXT Women's Championship. Nick Khan has recently stated that WWE higher-ups are trying to establish NXT as an official third brand of WWE. Wow, it's almost like you already had that. Anyway, the former black and gold / vomit tie-dye brand has been seeing more main roster integration as of recently. Dominic Mysterio winning the North American title was a great first step in this endeavor, and now WWE has slapped its metaphorical the table with Becky Lynch picking up the NXT Women's title from Tiffany Stratton. Not only is this big time Bex's first ever reign as NXT Women's Champion, which seems really weird to say out loud, but the end result of the ongoing feud is to create a mega star out of Stratton. Now, I have been one of those detractors who has not been a big fan of the rebrand of NXT, but with the great recent work of people like Carmelo Hayes, Wes Lee, and the aforementioned Tiffany Stratton, it looks like I am gonna have to free up my Tuesday nights. I'm sure my knitting circle will understand. Number 2, Mandy Rose returns to wrestling. Speaking of the NXT Women's title, what has one of the longest reigning holders of the belt, Mandy Rose, been up to as of late? Well, she has been primarily quiet on the wrestling front since being released in February in regards to the content on her FanTime page. Images I probably can't show you due to YouTube guideline reasons, and also, I'm not gonna take food out of her mouth. Make your money, sis. Recently though, on an Instagram Q&A, a fan asked if she would be returning to wrestling anytime soon, with Rose actually responding saying that her non-compete would be up sooner rather than later. Personally, I think Impact Wrestling would be perfect for Mandy Rose. Their women's division is always top tier, and I highly doubt they're gonna care with whatever she's selling online given the company's liberal working policy. Number 3, WWE merger made official. It's so odd that in my lifetime there's a reality where Vince McMahon sells WWE and is no longer the sole owner of the company. Figured aliens would be proven real before that. Well, shit. There's gonna be many business things going on with the big dub in the upcoming weeks. How will the product change? Will we see more UFC integration? And how will this affect the lives of employees both on and off screen? While at the time of writing this, there is no announcement or information available yet, Nick Khan has stated that layoffs will transpire on September 15th, and that all non-traveling employees will be working from home this day in order to discuss severance packages and layoffs in private with WWE Human Resources. While this is a sad truth of corporate America, talent isn't out of the woods quite yet, with talent likely being downsized in the upcoming months. The new TKO group is probably going to spread these out in order to avoid bad press and not firing a bunch of people all at once. Our best wishes go out to those affected by the merger, and I'm sure you'll find employment soon because WWE truly does have some talented people working both on screen and off. Number 4, Hacksaw Jim Duggan hospitalized. Jim Duggan is probably one of the nicest guys in professional wrestling, right next to Mick Foley. I would say the two should have a match to decide who is the nicest, but I don't really want to watch two men give each other compliments for 20 minutes, no matter how wholesome it might be. Scary news did hit Jim Duggan, unfortunately, over the past week as he was rushed to hospital during an autograph signing and had to go into emergency surgery. Duggan later revealing that this was due to sepsis from an abscess that he had developed. Luckily, the 2x4 wheeling American hero seems to be recovering well. Get well soon, Hacksaw. Ho! And number 5, AEW star to WWE and WWE star to AEW? There's been a lot of talk around that show herself, Jade Cargill, as of recently. With her returning to AEW television for a rematch against the woman who ended her historic TBS title reign, Chris Statlander. It was then made apparent to wrestling news sources that this would be Cargill's final AEW contracted match. It was then understood that Jade would be moving over to WWE, but now there's some conflicting information around this. It would be understandable that Jade Cargill would want to move to a bigger stage, but it's very contradictory compared to past statements that Cargill and AEW have made about their working relationship. TK and Jade seem to be on good working terms, and she outright refused to go to WWE in the first place due to a lot of her independent brand deals, something that WWE has a policy strictly against for their contracted talent. But now it's being reported that Cargill simply wants to take more time off to spend time with her family and to work on outside of the wrestling business ventures with her husband, but who truly knows? Talent departures aren't just a Jacksonville thing though, as it's being reported that WWE has a backstage understanding that Edge will be making his AEW debut fairly soon. Edge is the definition of a WWE guy through and through, but he is in a very interesting and unique spot in his career, and I wouldn't personally blame him for wanting to go do a short run in another company. Everyone Edge made his spot in the business with, the Hardy Boys, Christian, everyone is in the land of Elite at this time. Christian has been talking a lot about his real tag team partners as of late, and while I love his teaming up with Luchasaurus and it has been enjoyable, it can't last forever. That fantasy booking that I've been reading a lot online of Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys for a man retirement does seem doable, and really would just top everything on each man's career off very nicely. Thank you guys for watching The 5 Count. Jay, B-Roll, always a pleasure, brothers, and hey, next week, might have something a little special for you. And always remember, I've got till 5.
Yes, indeed. And hey, we here at Cole TV want to wish Extreme League Wrestling some huge congratulations as he just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're so happy for you, my friend. You definitely deserve it, good sir. And we cannot wait to see where you go from next. And we are truly honored to have you part of the PW60 family. So huge shout out to Extreme League. We love you, buddy.
Okay, real quick.
Deserve it.
Real quick. Yes, he does deserve it. He is the GOAT. But real quick, if Edge does come to AEW and teams with Christian, say it's this year, in the year 2023, we will have seen Edge and Christian get back together and the Dudleys get back together.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting feat. You're right. Hey, speaking of interesting feats, some huge news was made this week in the world of wrestling as Masha Slamovich has become the highest ranked woman of all time in the PWI 500 as she was ranked number 15 this year. This is freaking huge, and she definitely deserves it. And hey, Masha's a huge fan of Cole TV, as you saw in our birthday special, just saying. But we here at PW60 want to wish Masha the best. We are so happy and excited for you and truly do deserve to be number 15 on the PWI 500 list. A lot of controversy though with this PWI 500, though, wasn't there, Mr. B-roll?
Always
Your,
is.
as always, your number 1 was Seth Rollins, 2 was Roman Reigns, and 3 Jon Moxley. Am I noticing something here? I'm okay with, like, honestly, I'm
Shield.
okay with Seth being number. Yeah, I'm okay with
Sierra.
Seth being 1, Roman 2, Mox at 3 is fine. I don't know. I mean, for me, I think the biggest. A lot of people say this too. Will Ospreay not being in the top 10 is a shame. Happy Gunther got as high as he did.
He was
at
injured
4.
though, and you know I'm the biggest Ospreay mark out of anybody.
Yeah, but dude, the guy has had like 2 of the greatest matches of this year.
But
He defeated. Okay, hear me out. He defeated Kenny. He defeated Okada, and he defeated Chris Jericho. I think I know what you're going to say though. At the time they were doing this, though, those match results hadn't happened.
yes,
I guess
that's
I
on
don't know.
them for releasing it so after the fact. But then again, they are trying to come up with a list of 500.
And the fact that it's like published and stuff. But the biggest travesty, and PWI's apologized for this, but how in the absolute fuck do you not have the guy who wins the G1 Climax not only in the top like 50, top 100? You don't even have him on the fucking list. Are you kidding me? Tetsuya Naito did not make the list. However, PWI has apologized for this clerical error. It seems like every year they always have some sort of error and they forget somebody. But I mean, like you say, 500 wrestlers, it's a lot to do, and there's always going to be some controversy. There's always going to be some spiciness to it. Speaking of spicy, you ready for a spicy take? Let's go to Spicy Guac with a spicy take.
Spicy Guac here with a spicy take. If the right to censor were to come back, or if they were to come back with new superstars, it would be over more than its inception back in the early 2000s. And it would probably be a banger of a group.
That's an interesting take. Spicy always bringing that heat. Well, man, all this craziness, all this epicness that's happened. And oh, yeah, by the way, Impact 1000 happened this week too. And holy crap, what a freaking show this was. And I just got to say this, B-roll. Absolutely love the opening segment. You know, you heard me griping earlier about like the women's being booked, but man, oh man, Impact as always delivers. Hell, the first segment, like 30 minutes of the show dedicated to the Knockouts division, as should be. But man, great moments, great matches on this card. The Feast or Fired match, they brought that back. So many freaking cameos if you're a fan of Impact Wrestling too throughout the night. From Chris Harris to James Storm to Shark Boy. Team 3D reunited Devon Dudley in a wrestling ring as they went up against the Desi Hit Squad. And you got to see Alicia and Eddie Edwards in a mixed tag match against Tracy Brooks and Kazarian. And Tracy Brooks now being added to the Impact Hall of Fame. Totally deserves it. But let's talk about your main event. And guess what, folks? Yes, it is our match of the week. It was a phenomenal matchup for the X Division Championship. How apropos that the main event of this special episode was for the X Division title, considering the X Division is what put TNA Impact on the map. But Leo Rush defended against Chris Sabin, and Chris Sabin picks up the win and is now a 10-time X Division champion, the king of the X Division. I don't think there's any disputing that, is there, Mr. B-Roll?
No doubt in my mind.
Phenomenal matchup and a phenomenal Impact 1000. We say it all the time. If you're sleeping on Impact, then you need to wake the hell up. Check them out. They are on Access TV. If you don't have access, you can watch them on YouTube. But you seriously do yourself a favor. It's well worth it because Impact Wrestling right now is one of the best produced shows on television on a weekly basis for pro wrestling. But our match of the week was your X Division title match with Chris Sabin and Leo Rush. Also this week, the documentary series Wrestlers has debuted on Netflix, which covers Ohio Valley Wrestling. Have you checked this out yet, Mr. B-Roll?
Yes, I have. I'm about maybe 4 episodes in.
I gotta admit, I binged it the other day and I watched all 7 episodes. They're great. It's very interesting. Interesting to see some of the talent from OVW To me, the biggest star, like there's a lot of good ones that OVW has, but to me, the one I was sold on the most, Freya the Slayer, which she was in our Squared Circle Expo Retribution vlog as she won that Battle Royal. She's a Squared Circle Expo Women's Champion, just saying. But a tremendous show. It's very interesting. Do yourself a favor. If you got Netflix, check it out. Speaking of shows, Heels Season 2 finale took place this week, and we're not going to spoil anything for you, but just get your damn tissues out, folks, because this was a good one. I mean, it was tough to watch, but man, a great show. This show is awesome too.
So
by the
I'm
way.
taking it you have finished it then.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I know what happens. We can talk about it off there, but we're not talking about it on here. But yeah, if you haven't done so, do yourself a favor and check out Heels. It's an amazing show. Even if you don't like wrestling, you should still check it out. So just saying, it's a great show. Deonna Purrazzo apparently appears to be a free agent. Honestly, I think she re-signs with Impact because, like I was telling you, like I've said before, I'll stay on this hill. The Knockouts division is the best booked women's division. You go anywhere else, I don't think they'll use her right. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it's either stay in Impact or just don't go to WWE. I would not go to WWE.
I think they would drop the ball there again, but. Hey, how about this, though? Prince Nana has assigned a multi-year deal with AEW, which is pretty cool, pretty dope. I can respect it. You think it's the Nana dance that did it? Like, Tony Khan's like, okay, I got to sign you for, like, a long term.
I think it was when he saw, oh, man, now I'm having a brain fart. Jerry Lynn doing the Prince Nana dance.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That was amazing. But, yeah, congratulations to Prince Nana. Definitely deserves it. Dude, GCW was in London this past weekend, and these shows were, as you kids say, these are
bangers?
How good they are. I'm going to say this. They're bangers. They're really good shows. Like, if you got Fight TV, check them out. It's very interesting to see some of the TNT talent that they work with over there in Europe. It was pretty solid shows, man. And you should definitely check them out. Awesome to watch. And also, the Narufuji matchup took place. His anniversary card took place for Pro Wrestling Noah, and he went up one-on-one against Will Ospreay in an all-time classic. Of course, Ospreay picking up the W, but man, oh man, this match is awesome, and you need to check it out. That's not the only thing going on in the world of pro wrestling over in Japan. The 5-Star Grand Prix is coming to a conclusion. So let's go to our good friend Light Skin Gaijin for a 5-Star Grand Prix report.
No, your eyes are not deceiving you. I'm still the light-skinned Gaijin Denard Ramon, and this is your 5-Star Grand Prix recap.
This weekend, Fukuoka, alongside Saga City, would play host to this weekend's nights 16 and 17 of the 5-Star Grand Prix. In Red Stars action, the reigning World of Stardom champion Tam Nakano would go one-on-one with God's Eye's Ami Sourei. It was a hard back-and-forth battle, but in the end, the reigning Red Belt champion was able to score 2 points from her adversary. Elsewhere in Red Stars action, the Wild Heart of Stars Hazuki would go one-on-one with the High-Speed Fairy of Cosmic Angels in Natsupoi. In a match where both women needed a victory to gain ground on block leader Natsuko Tora, it would be the Wild Heart who would say bye boy and earn 2 points in the Red Stars. Finally, in Blue Stars action to end the night in Fukuoka, it would be Micah going one-on-one with the high-speed bomb girl Azumi. It was a technical versus power match between these two ladies, and in the end, it would be the Michinoku driver number 2 that would put away the high-speed bomb girl, giving the Empress 2 points in the Blue Stars. As for your Saga City results, Momo Watanabe would defeat Hanan. Mirai would out-wrestle Mariah May. And in the Red Stars block, Ami Sourei would fall to Suzu Suzuki. Which leaves very little change in the standings from last week. Natsupoi Shuri and Tam Nakano are trying to narrow the gap between them and Red Stars leader Natsuko Tora. Hazuki and Suzu Suzuki are starting to gain ground, while Mayu Iwatani is still stuck near the middle. Meanwhile, in the Blue Stars, Julia holds a very slim lead with Utami Hayashishita, Saori Ano, Momo Watanabe, and Mirai starting to gain ground. And with 4 nights left before the final night of the 5-Star Grand Prix on September 30th, everyone's sense of urgency has gone through the roof. It is time to tighten up, as it's starting to get down to the nitty-gritty. The final 4 nights will take place Monday the 18th, Wednesday the 20th, Saturday the 23rd, and Sunday the 24th, before we reach the final night on September 30th, live from the Yokohama Budokan. With that said, I am the light-skinned Gaijin Denard Ramon, and remember, Joshi Wrestling is for everyone.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Michael with another independent wrestling event report. First off, Asylum Pro Wrestling presents Horrors and Headlocks, October 28th, Clearfield County Fairgrounds in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Doors open 5:30 and the bell time at 7 p.m. Second, we have St. Louis Anarchy Wrestling presents Canvas of Dreams, October 12th, Granite City, Elks Lodge, number 1063, that is 4801 Maryville Road, Granite City, Illinois. Tickets at stlanarchy.com. Lastly, we have Revolution Wrestling Authority presents No Apologies, Sunday, October 15th, 401 Taylor Avenue, High Point, North Carolina, 2760. Doors open for that at 2:30 with a bell time of 4 p.m. That is your independent wrestling event report.
Always so much going on in the world of pro wrestling. How about this, Mr. B-Roll? Santana and Ortiz are pretty much at odds with each other, man. Didn't even really want to work with each other. Like, this beef's kind of been going on for a little while now, but really kind of coming to light with some things said on, I'm sorry, not Twitter, but X. But I don't know, man. Like, I hope they can work it out, but it's not looking good anytime soon. It's a bummer to see this because they are a phenomenal tag team. They're great singles as well, and kudos to Ortiz with the Pharrell Williams style hat, only not as high, like not the Arby's hat, but still the brim. But just saying. Also this week, Matt Riddle was sexually assaulted at an airport. The fuck? Really? Like, and this picture is kind of like, was this when it happened? Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, okay, whatever. And then Paul White was named in a steroid scandal. Like, Paul White needs freaking steroid. Dude, all this stuff, these stories, they sound like they come directly from the dirt sheet. You know what that means? It's time for the dirt sheet news!
Yeah, everybody and their mother saw The Rock. Pretty sure that's not news because you told me that was happening. Hey, it's your boy Jay, bona fide member of the Dirt Sheet Press, and here are some stories you may have missed this past week within professional wrestling. And yes, The Rock showed up on SmackDown last week, right after having a sit-down interview with Pat McAfee. And in that interview, The Rock did say he had a handshake deal with Vince McMahon that he would appear at WrestleMania 39. But plans just didn't work out. Reason being, The Rock wanted to defeat Roman Reigns. Yes, The Rock wanted to be the one to dethrone Roman. Vince knew that wasn't going to work. Vince used his brain instead of a celebrity for the first time ever. Pretty sure that's a pretty big scoop. Also, The Rock said he may be available for the next WrestleMania. But who would be the champion? Would it still be Rock versus Roman for the belt? Well, as of right now, there are two possibilities for Roman come Royal Rumble, or two possibilities for a Rumble winner who could possibly face Roman at that WrestleMania. As of right now, they are thinking of LA Knight versus Roman Reigns for the title at the Royal Rumble, with Cody winning the Royal Rumble, or Cody Rhodes finally finishing the story at the Royal Rumble by defeating Roman Reigns, with LA Knight winning the Rumble that night. As of right now, that just happens to be the scuttlebutt backstage within the WWE. Nick Khan also wanted to flaunt the fact to TKO, now that the merger has taken place, that he's big friends with The Rock and he could get The Rock to show up whenever he wants to, as long as there's a writer's strike. And in AEW news, JR is now on the Elite's hit list. The Elite got rid of CM Punk like they've wanted done for over almost a year now. Not over a year. Well, I guess over a year now. But JR did mention that he would like to see CM Punk back in some capacity, as AEW does need some real stars and real storytelling to compete as a viable wrestling company. After saying this, more stories about JR's health and the way JR acts backstage have been being filtered slowly to Dave Meltzer. Is this another Elite hit jobs? It's starting to look like it, especially as more and more news is going to come out about how bad JR's health is and how bad he's slacking at his job of announcing. So, when JR gets fired from AEW, just ask yourself, is it his age, or did the Elite just want him gone as well? And speaking of CM Punk did his announcing gig for whatever fight company that's for, and made a tease, saying that he's not busy for the next 2 months. But why would he be busy in 2 months? Turns out WWE will be having the Survivor Series in Chicago in 2 months' time. And if you didn't know, CM Punk happens to be from Chicago. And those just aren't the facts. Those are the dirty facts. The Dirt Sheet News!
The Dirt Sheet News! Thank you, Jay. We love you, brother. And speaking of people we love our Wrestle Talk creators. And this week for our Wrestle Talk Content Creator of the Week, we've got today, it's Wrestling. She has some awesome takes. It's always great to see some of the videos. She's got a lot of humor in her stuff. And if you're not doing so and following her, folks, give her a follow because it's pretty solid content. She's our Wrestle Talk Content Creator of the Week. Well, it appears that Edge has been taken off the internal WWE roster list, and there's a lot of rumors, which was covered on the 5 count, that could Edge possibly be AEW bound? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. He's got a lot of friends there. Just saying. And finally, it was announced this week that the Royal Rumble will take place Saturday, January 27th in Tampa Bay, Florida at Tropicana Field. So we have a destination for the Royal Rumble. It's crazy to think, too, dude, that the Royal Rumble is like months away. WrestleMania season's getting to start. It's just insane because so much has happened always in the world of professional wrestling. And buddy, oh buddy, what an amazing week this past week was. But hey, speaking of an amazing week, check out Cole TV all this week because we've got brand new episodes of I'm Your Huckleberry, as well as Friday Night Movie Night and our special AEW Dynamite Cincinnati Flag, all coming to you this week. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode. I'm about done. Oh, you're tickling. Oh, you're naughty. You're so naughty. Oh, sorry. We'll see you next week on PW60. Bye-bye, everybody. Have an awesome week.